Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to a slightly different video. I want to talk about WWF Xperience, and this is widely regarded as WWF's first iPPV. So the first pay-per-view to be streamed and shown over the internet. Now there is a problem with that. No footage exists, or certainly hasn't been seen. You can go onto YouTube and see Goldust versus Shawn Michaels, which was the main event. That is fan footage, but the actual footage, which you can see being recorded, has never turned up. Clips of it were shown on Raw following the show, but no one appears to have seen the full broadcast, so it's kind of widely agreed that it was never shown anywhere. And plus that would make sense, you know, it was a dial-up connection when this show was being filmed, and you're going back to the 24th of August 1996. So it was a dial-up connection. The resolution would have been very low. It would have been borderline impossible to have actually shown that footage to a wide audience anyway. So it's believed that they could have been streaming the audio somewhere, but again, it's very difficult to get that confirmed. It's more accepted that that was just a small aspect of a bigger event, because it was actually 10 years to the day that WWF had held the big event there. And the big event was held in that building 10 years before, in 1986, and they managed to draw an unbelievable 69,000 people to that show. So what they were trying to do was recapture that. They were trying to find a way of getting another 69,000 people into the show, so they made a big deal of that weekend. I can tell you that the first big event was held in 1986, was headlined by Hulk Hogan versus Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and 10 years later in 1996 the show was headlined by Goldust versus Shawn Michaels in a ladder match. There was a big deal made about it all over the weekend. There was a softball event which featured wrestlers, there was a parade, and not only that, there's reports of Psycho Sid having a tug of war against an elephant. Sadly, even that wasn't enough. The crowd for this event was 21,211, but that still was one of the highest paying crowds that WWF had attracted in around 4 years. You had to go back to WrestleMania 8 for an event that actually generated as much money as what this did. And how amazing that this, to all intents and purposes, was a glorified house show. So they did make it a big deal, just maybe not as big as it had been, well, definitely not as big as it had been 10 years earlier. So the matches on the card saw Jose Lothario pinning Jim Cornette, the Godwins beating the New Rockers, Hunter Hearst Helmsley pinning Bob Holly, Savio Vega beating Justin Bradshaw in a Caribbean strap match, Stone Cold Steve Austin beating Mark Mero via countout after Mark Mero went to the aid of an injured Sable, Farouk pinned Aldo Montoya, then had a lumberjack match, and this lumberjack match featured guest lumberjacks who were stars from the Toronto Argonauts, and that match saw Sid pinning Vader. Smoking Guns retained their tag titles in a defeat, but by DQ, to Owen Hart and Davey Boy Smith. The Undertaker beat Mankind in a casket match. And what is widely regarded as the best match from the night was the main event match, and that was Goldust versus Shawn Michaels in a ladder match, and that saw Shawn Michaels victorious. So it's impossible to say whether this was shown anywhere, if the audio was played online anywhere, but it has been reported, continues to be reported, as a WWF iPPV. That definitely isn't 100% accurate. It is more that this was part of a bigger event and that was an aspect of it. I don't believe that was the sole purpose of this show. It was more to celebrate the 10-year anniversary since the big event in 1986. Fingers crossed the show turns up on the network one day. Hopefully that footage is buried away in the archives, because it'd be fascinating to see exactly what went down at that event. It really is and will remain, you know, a hidden gem, a lost gem in the WWF archives. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, if you found it informative, then please give it a like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully, I see you again next time. Bye for now.